Welcome to this edition of Valor Media. This is episode number 62 for April 12th, 2021, with your host, Lori Riston.
Hi, welcome to today's Crisis to Thriving podcast. I'm your host, Lori, and today's episode is entitled Renters' Rights. I'm glad you've tuned in because today I want to mix things up a bit. Today, I'm not specifically going to cover some of the principles of moving from crisis to thriving like I normally do. What I'm going to do is introduce you to a topic that I hope you find beneficial, especially if you're a renter. Now, why is this important, you ask? Well, because there are many people right now who have been impacted by this COVID-19 pandemic. And one of the biggest areas of impact has been on income. As you well know, it takes income to do just about anything in life. But if we just look at how income affects even our basic human needs, we will find that having our income reduced or completely wiped out can really cause our lives to spin out of control. Our physical needs can be greatly impacted when something catastrophic happens. And by physical needs, I mean a roof over your head, food in your belly, or clothes on your back. Now, all of these are very complex topics, but today I only want to focus on the roof over your head portion. This is especially relevant right now because existing COVID eviction moratoriums are winding down and many people will find themselves scrambling for somewhere else to live after all the dust settles. If that describes you, then you've come to the right place because I'm going to share some information with you that I think can really help. And it'll help you maneuver through finding a new place to live if you find yourself evicted. And if that doesn't describe you, well, then I encourage you to stick around anyway because you just never know who you may run into that may need to know what you'll be learning about today. As you can imagine, there are lots of places to look when you're searching for a rental property. There are apartments, townhouses, single-family homes, public housing, Section 8, and so much more. But choosing the perfect place is only half the battle. The other part of the equation is understanding your rights and your responsibilities, as well as being approved by a potential landlord. Now, there are a lot of reasons why you can be approved or denied, but the first thing you need to know is that the landlord is legally free to set whatever conditions he or she wants for tenants, as long as they're reasonable, related to his or her business needs, and don't violate anti-discrimination laws. However, there are some issues that they are unable to consider when they're making their decisions. They're not permitted to discriminate. Now, you probably already know most of the areas of discrimination, but just as a refresher, these areas include race, color, religion, national origin, gender, age, sexual orientation, family status, or physical and mental disability. What this means is that if they turn you down based on any of those factors, then they're breaking the law. So if discrimination is not acceptable, then why can a landlord refuse to rent to you? Well, there are two reasons, and one is that they can refuse to rent to smokers. Yep, that's right. In fact, there are some rental communities that will actually evict you if you smoke within a certain distance of their properties, so they really do enforce this. The other group they can deny is pet owners, and they can do that because neither smokers nor pet owners are protected by anti-discrimination laws. But let's say you find a place you like. What are some of the reasons a landlord may give you for not selecting you as a tenant? Well, first they can deny you because of your income. They look at income the way any reasonable business person would deem insufficient to pay rent. Now, many landlords use a rent-to-income ratio of 1 to 3, or approximately 1/3 of your income. So, for example, if you bring in $1,733 a month and divide that by 3, that means the affordable rent amount that you could pay would be $577. Anything more than that would be too risky for them. They can also reject you because of your poor credit history. Now, most landlords will run a credit report, and you need to understand that your credit report can make or break your application. Your financial history is a powerful indicator of whether you're going to be a reliable tenant or not, who pays rent on time and is not likely to cause problems. Now, what you may not know is that landlords can charge a fee for the cost of the credit report, and that can run anywhere from $30 to $40. But even so, there may be times when you're entitled to a refund of a credit check fee. Sometimes a landlord will actually collect for a credit check fee, but they won't actually run the credit. If this happens, you're entitled to a refund. So the smartest thing you can do is actually contact a credit reporting agency as soon as you're rejected by a landlord to ask if a credit check was requested by the landlord. You are not entitled to a refund, however, if a credit report was ordered and you decide not to take a rental unit, or the landlord chooses someone else. You also have the right to know the reporting agency that provided your credit report. Now, a landlord is legally required to give you the name and address of the credit agency that reported any negative information about you. So I want to stop here, though, and say that you should actually check your credit report before you start your housing search. Now, that's important to do because it gives you the opportunity to correct or clear up any mistakes, such as out-of-date or wrong information. The three largest credit bureaus are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And every credit report in the U.S. is generated by one of these three agencies. What's great is that you can obtain a free copy of your credit report from any or all of these agencies once every 12 months. Now, the website for the report is www.annualcreditreport.com, or you can go to each individual website to find their instructions for requesting their reports. Now, if you do find errors that are not your fault, you're going to want to contact that reporting bureau and ask for an investigation form. And make sure you list each incorrect item and explain why it's wrong. Now, under federal law, the bureau must investigate within 30 days. And if you're found to be correct, the bureau must delete the information from your file. But just understand, however, that when you send a request for an investigation, that doesn't always fix the situation. You can contact the reporting bureaus to ask what the next step is. But keep in mind, if one credit bureau has inaccurate information, it's likely that the others do too. So be sure to check your files at those other two agencies as well. But getting back to more reasons why a landlord can turn you down, another reason is negative references from a previous landlord or employer, which can also cause you to be denied. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because your past relationships with landlords, managers, and employers can make all the difference between you getting a rental unit or being rejected. Keep in mind, however, that a landlord can't force you to give references, but not giving references may make the prospective landlord think you're afraid of what that person may say. So be very wise when and if you decide to provide them. Now, other reasons why you can be denied is because of a criminal conviction, a prior eviction lawsuit, even if you won, or lying on your rental application. And a landlord also has the right to limit the number of occupants for health and safety reasons or legitimate business reasons. That means if you go over that amount, you can be evicted. I know this is a lot to take in, so I hope I'm not throwing too much at you. If I am, don't worry, because I'm going to give you a great resource toward the end of today's message that will help you to retain some of the basic legal concepts of renting. Until then, the first bit of advice I can give you is to set your rental priorities before you start looking. Determine how much rent you can afford to pay, including utilities. Now, if you need help with this, a personal development coach from Valor can help. Where do you want to live? What school district? How many number of bedrooms do you need? Does the rental allow pets? Now, once you determine what's important to you, try not to compromise. And whatever you do, don't move into a place that's a complete disaster, next to a drug house, or owned by a slumlord. If possible, take your time. And whatever you do, don't make any hasty decisions or commit yourself to something too quickly. Once you find the perfect place, you're going to need to know what to expect as you fill out your rental application. And many landlords will use applications as a way to pre-screen a potential tenant. The information you'll be asked to provide can include employment information, your income, credit and financial info, rental housing history, criminal convictions, maybe your social security number, your driver's license number, whether or not you smoke, or have you ever been sued. Really, a landlord can ask any information that will tell them whether or not you're likely to be a good tenant, or to help them find you if you leave the unit owing them for rent or property damage. But what's true is that every good and decent landlord will make sure they are renting to people that they can trust. But you, as the renter, also need to trust your landlord. Now, we encourage you to do your homework as well as check out any potential landlords that you may rent from to make sure that they're a good fit for you. But how should you do this? Well, you can start by asking current tenants and neighbors what it's like to live there. Or you can ask the current tenant why they're moving out. Talk with other people or businesses in the neighborhood. You can also go to www.apartmentratings.com, and that site has reviews on individual apartments and property managers nationwide. Another website you can go to is www.checkyourlandlord.com and obtain free information about properties. So now that you understand more fully some of your legal rights, I want to encourage you to visit our website at www.thevalorcenter.org/housing-counseling to request a link to a new video we've produced called Renters' Rights. In this video, you're going to learn even more about leases and rental agreements. But not only that, we've put together a comprehensive rental assistance workbook, which is a compilation of pertinent and timely information to aid you in your search for rental housing. It's full of so much great information that I know will really help. So if you're interested, you can request this workbook by contacting us at info@thevalorcenter.org or by calling us at 240-329-9387. In the meantime, I also encourage you to check out some of our remote life development classes. Now, there are some really awesome classes on the schedule like Boundaries, Money Management, From Crisis to Thriving, Who Switched Off My Brain, and more. You can register for these classes online, and they will empower you to learn new ways of coping through crisis and reach a better life for yourself and those you love. You can find our class schedules and descriptions at www.thevalorcenter.org/training/class-schedules. Then, if you want to participate, you can register for the classes at www.thevalorcenter.org/training/registration. Once you register, you'll receive an email confirmation receipt and then a second email with an invitation and link to the Zoom meeting platform. If you'd like to get up-to-date information about Valor, you can connect with us on our websites at www.thevalorcenter.org or www.valorexcel.com. Or you can find us on Facebook at Valor Ministries or Valor Excel. You can also email us at media@thevalorcenter.org and let us know what topics you'd like us to cover on future podcasts. We want to make sure that we're producing content that's relevant for you, so reach out anytime. I also encourage you to purchase our books, You Were Made to Thrive, 7 Strategies to Move You from Crisis to Thriving, and the companion goal-setting workbook through Amazon or on our website at www.valorexcel.com/products. If you do, you'll learn that you can't fix what you won't admit. Nothing will change if you're not willing to make changes yourself. Crisis situations can last a few months and others can last years, but they all have one thing in common. They end. You'll also learn that you are where you are for a reason and a season. And sitting around doing nothing won't make things better. It will just leave you falling further behind. Join others who have already learned these principles and come out on the other side with really great results. Would you also take a quick moment and like, share, and subscribe to this channel? It really helps us if you do, and it will also help others learn biblical truths that can help them overcome the obstacles in their lives. Then, don't forget to set up alerts for each new episode so that you never miss one of these powerful messages that are designed to help you thrive in both life and business. And lastly, would you consider financially supporting us so that we can make an even greater impact in our mission? Your generous donations are tax deductible, and they allow us to continue offering content like this. Please visit www.thevalorcenter.org/donate to give securely online. Or you can send a check or money order to Valor Ministries, 324 East Antietam Street, Suite 104, Hagerstown, Maryland, 21740. I'd like to thank you for spending some time with us today, and I hope you'll come back again for next week's episode. Until then, remember this: you were made to thrive.